It seemed like the Broncos had a month to secure a postseason berth. They finally got it done with a big win against a depleted Kansas City Chiefs team. What do they got waiting for them on the other side? The Buffalo Bills. They were chanting, "We want the Bills." Well, be careful what you wish for. What do you got on this matchup, Colt?
Yeah, be careful what you wish for. Man, listen, the Bills are rolling. I just did a deep dive on the scheme show about Josh Allen, the Bills, Joe Brady, what they do on offense. Josh Allen makes alien plays all across the field. But when you really break this team down, you watch what they do, they are very sound. Everybody's an eligible receiver. Everybody has the opportunity to get touches. They'll throw it to anybody. If you play man coverage, they are going to torch you with picks and meshes and all kinds of stuff to get free releases. They play 6-0 linemen more than anybody else in the National Football League, and they can pound the rock up front. James Cook is playing great. They present some holes in the run game that we all could run through, and then they play action pass you to death off of that. And then when it all breaks down, Josh Allen finds ways to create a play street ball. But what Josh Allen has done this year, as opposed to other years, is he's really reeled in his ability to play within the system that Joe Brady has formed. He's making good decisions. He's making good choices. He's throwing checkdowns. He's giving guys catch and run opportunities. Everyone around him is playing good. And Josh Allen raises the level of everybody else's play. I just think they're going to be a handful coming to the playoffs, especially playing at home up in Buffalo when it's cold. And I like the trenches, just like, AQ, Justin, you guys talk about this all the time. The offensive line for the Buffalo Bills is playing really, really good football. And I think it's going to be a tough matchup for the Broncos heading in this game. Although Broncos are pretty good. I know you picked against them last week, Jay.
Great pick, Jay.
And listen, Bo Nix, he's a wild card, man. He can push the ball down the field. He can RPO you to death. Whatever plan they put together is going to be a good one. Sean Payton's coached in a bunch of games before. He's won a Super Bowl. This isn't going to be a pushover for the Buffalo Bills. It's going to be a tough matchup. But at the end of the day, I just think Josh Allen and this offense, they're a handful.
Yeah, I agree. The Bills seem like a juggernaut, and this could be heading for a first-round blowout. But, Jay, give me 2 reasons why this Denver Broncos team can win in Buffalo.
Defense, baby. They get a lot of sacks. It's going to be hard to tackle Josh Allen because he's 6'5", 260 pounds, but they do rush the passer extremely well. They have the best cover corner in the National Football League, Pat Surtain. Riley Moss is playing a little bit better. I mean, they got some coverage guys. They got Zach Allen, who's a tenacious run defender. He'll run sideline to sideline, make some plays. They have John Franklin Myers, man. They got some good players. They have the defensive players to slow down the Buffalo Bills. And then offensively, Sean Payton's creativity. A lot of perimeter screens, a lot of back screens, a lot of fun little quick plays that get the guys out in space. And then Cortland Sutton. This guy's a big play player waiting to happen. I'm telling you this. They can throw the ball up. He's got great length, catch radius, big plays. And then Bo Nix, his ability to run when plays aren't there. Good pass rush by the Bills. That's okay. Bo Nix will run for like 48, 50, 60 yards and get some first downs and move the clock. They got a running back by committee, a great play caller, and a quarterback playing a lot of confidence, and a receiver. They can go get any ball, and a great defense. That's why the Denver Broncos can win. However, they won't.
Perfect. I asked for 2 reasons. It seems like you gave us 12. You nailed it. I think the audience is sold. I really do. I might even pick the Broncos now because of that. But Justin, all we keep talking about, I know you're on the Lamar train, but all we keep talking about is Josh Allen and what a season he had. He's the only thing you talk about when you bring up Buffalo. But James Cook, 1,200 yards, 17 touchdowns, a monster year for him and the Buffalo Bills. Talk about what he means to that offense.
Yeah, he's that home run hitter that the Buffalo Bills need. I mean, they can give it to him and he'll take it 60, 70 yards to the house. You look at the biggest difference. This is his second season for rushing over 1,000 yards. Mind you, like players like Alvin Kamara has never had a 1,000-yard season. To put that into perspective, the biggest jump that you saw James Cook make this year was the touchdown production. When you get into the red zone, the ability to run the ball with that offensive line and James Cook has been tremendous. He has 17 touchdowns on the season, and he can do it all. He can be out of the backfield catching passes. He can be in the backfield, and he hasn't fumbled and lost a fumble for this entire season. And we're not going to go crazy on these stats, but when you know you can turn around and hand it to a guy in any condition like you're going to have in Buffalo throughout the playoffs, that makes this offense even more dynamic. They brought in Ray Davis a little bit for that 1-2 punch combo. It almost seems like they're trying to run something very similar to Detroit with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, and James Cook is running that Jermaine Gibbs role where he can be that home run hitter, that dynamic playmaker out of the backfield. And when you get down into the red zone, don't be surprised for them to run some of those read options and James Cook keeps it. Jay is right. Josh Allen is the MVP of this league right now. These Vegas odds-on favorites. He's going to bring bodies, and James Cook has been one of the beneficiaries of that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But you know what else there's no doubt about? The fact that we're going to reach 13,000 subscriptions this week. We're already at 12,000. Keep following along with us, adding your comments, clicking the like button, subscribing, doing all the things you need to do to make this channel the success that it has become. All right, let's get back to the Buffalo Bills. Colt, I got a major question for you. This team, everybody has them just on a collision course with the Kansas City Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl. Is there any element of this Buffalo team where you are worried about them possibly looking ahead?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that's the natural human instinct to do. Like, the Chiefs are the team to beat. They're the number one seed. If you take care of business, that we got to go to Kansas City and beat them to go to the Super Bowl, right? I think that's obviously human nature to feel that way. But the Bills got their hands full with the Broncos. For all the reasons that Jay mentioned, this defense coached by Vance Joseph and the Broncos is really good. I know they had 4 opportunities to secure their playoff spot, and they finally won the last one against a team in Kansas City who sat all their good players, but they're still solid. And when you're playing against a Vance Joseph coached defense, he's going to do some things that you haven't seen before. The Bills are going to have to be dialed on offense. They're not just going to line up and play across the board man coverage and let you run all your man beaters. That's just not going to happen against Vance Joseph in this defense. They've got good players. So the Bills have to be locked in, ready to roll, but their ability as a veteran team, a veteran unit to really lock in week by week as the playoffs and then ultimately get to Kansas City, that's the mentality that you have to have. You can't look ahead. You hear coaches say that all the time, but it's true. I mean, this Broncos team is young and hungry. They're going to give you a matchup, and you better be ready to play.
Yeah, any given Sunday never speaks more true than the playoffs. Literally any given week, any team can win. Once you get in the dance, anybody has a shot. Jay, can you just talk a little bit about the fact that Sean Payton and this Denver team, major underdogs? First of all, have you ever been in a situation like that in the playoffs, 1? And 2, do you coach any differently, a little bit more aggressive or any differently whatsoever, knowing that you're major underdogs?
I was only playoff once at Washington. We were underdogs at home against Green Bay. Played them pretty tough. Had a lead early, but you don't coach any differently, really. I don't think so. I think you try to cater to your team's strength. I think you understand. Sean has a great understanding of what Bo Nix is good at as a play caller. He knows he's going to protect them with a lot of good creative screens and things that he can get out of his hands quickly. He understands Bo's a great athlete. He might have some quarterback designed runs, but the big thing is to get him comfortable early on the road. Don't force the ball into cover. Let's not make him go through too many progressions down the field. Let's get him some easy completions, eat up some clock, and then take some shots later on to Cortland Sutton. So I think Sean understands that. He's a great play caller. He's not going to push the envelope early, might line up in some empty, get some quick passes out there, tighten them up, running back by committee, get some runs in there. Because the one thing, I'm not sold on Buffalo's defense. I think they can move the ball down the field. If they can score in the red zone, frustrate Buffalo a little bit, keep it close to the fourth quarter, you never know what can happen. But as a play caller, whether you're underdog or favorite, I don't think it can vary. You have to cater to your team's strength and what the quarterback and what the players can do.
Well, one thing Bo won't have to deal with very much is below freezing temperatures. It is just slightly below. 30 degrees is what is expected to be the temperature in Orchard Park this week. Justin, can you talk a little bit how that affects the team, whether colder weather, warmer weather, and how you approach that going into the game?
Yeah, it definitely impacts the team. I played at Syracuse University, which is central New York, deals a lot with that lake effect snow. Now we're indoors. We're geniuses. We're indoors. So, but I would know what that cold weather does to you. I would rather play in the cold, though, versus the heat. The extreme heat as a big guy, as an offensive lineman, would wear you down. You definitely feel a little more energized in that cold weather. 30 degrees in Buffalo isn't an extreme temperature like a Kansas City with the Miami Dolphins last year's situation. Denver has a cold environment. These guys are going to be fine. I don't think the cold will impact this game, but I will tell you, I would much rather play in an extreme cold versus extreme heat. That heat drains the big guys up front, and it's like Tampa with the humidity. Forget about it. Give me Buffalo in the freezing cold tundra any day of the week.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, actually. I mean, I remember playing Miami and Tampa and all those warm weather places, and you just die out quickly as a big boy.
Bus runs out of gas, just like Michael Pierce said. The skill guys maybe might like the extreme heat better than the extreme cold, right?
I never played receiver, but I know the ball's harder to catch when it gets, freezing temperatures. Denver gets cold. Buffalo, obviously, they played in a lot of, extreme conditions. I don't think it makes a big difference in this game, really, either way.
In football, every game means more during the playoffs, and you can start your own personal playoffs on Underdog, where you could cash in on touchdowns, interceptions, yards, or more. All you have to do is pick higher or lower, and you could take home up to 1,000 times your money if you get your picks right. It's that simple. Millions of fans have already won billions of dollars making picks. Sign up for Underdog today using promo code POCKET, capital POCKET, and you'll get a free pick as a part of your first cash entry plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Again, that's promo code POCKET. So who do you got winning?
Yeah, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. Listen, I think the Broncos are going to give them a tough test. I mean, you should look at a rookie quarterback versus an MVP, and it's not anything to do with Bo Nix. I think he's going to be a great quarterback for a long time. He's played good this year, but at the end of the day, you're playing at home. You're playing in Buffalo. It's a veteran team versus kind of a rising team in Denver. And I think the Buffalo Bills' goals and expectations are to get to a Super Bowl. They feel like they have the team to do it. And this is the round one matchup they were dealt. And I think they'll be ready to play.
I know who Jay's got, but let's just hear it out of the horse's mouth.
Well, I saw a stat the other day. Another stat. Rookie quarterbacks are 0-9 the last 10 years going on the road in the playoffs in round one. And it's going to be 0-10, my friend, because Josh Allen ain't going to be stopped by the Denver Broncos. Sorry, Bronco fans, but Josh Allen is a monster. Sean McDermott's a great defensive coach. He'll get that defense going, playing good enough, create some turnovers. And the Buffalo Bills by at least 2 touchdowns.
The other thing I want to mention about the Bills is I think they're the most healthy. They have the least amount of guys on IR of anybody in the league, right? They just got Matt Milano back. Like they're a good, healthy, strong football team headed in the playoffs. That's a big deal in the National Football League.
Well said.
Yeah, it's half the battle. Staying the healthiest and the luckiest usually plays a big part in who hoists it at the end of the year. Justin, who do you got?
Let's go, Buffalo. I mean, there's no doubt. I'm going Buffalo Bills. Shout out to Denny Kensington, man, my former trainer from Syracuse. He's up there in Buffalo as the trainer, so he's getting those guys right.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about Denny, but yeah, we're pumped about Buffalo.
Syracuse, really. Who gives a rat's ass about Syracuse?
I know, Gruden.
You played indoors.
They have a dome.
Hey.
They've had a carrier dome for 35, 40 years.
Do you think I never left and went outside?
Not to play football, you moron.
We didn't practice outside?
Probably not. Maybe in the summertime.
Incorrect.
I got the Buffalo Bills because of Denny Kensington and the training staff up there in Buffalo.